In this lesson, we're going to use the if function to hide error messages in Microsoft Excel. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is to go to the Divo tab, and we're going to use the Microsoft Excel workbook called error messages. Okay. So if we click on this formula, we can clearly see that the formula is B1 divided by C1, okay, which gives us the answer 3. Okay. But if you want to achieve the error div, which is denoted by dividing something by 0, it means that, let's remove that one, you cannot divide something by 0, which gives an infinite error on Microsoft Excel. So if you want to avoid this function, this error, what we simply need to do, we can write the if function equals if open brackets, then you can state that if C1 is greater than if C1 equals 0, comma, then make the statement true and put a hyphen sign, close the quotation sign, then comma, then go to the end of the statement, then put a closing bracket. So what we have said here, if the div error, which means that we're dividing something by 0, is if C1, which is here, is equals to 0, then the true statement, instead of producing the div error, we're going to produce a minus sign or a hyphen. But if the C1 is not a 0, which is going to be a false, you're going to produce the original formula, which was B1 divided by C1. Then you can click OK. So you can clearly see that if C1 is 0, it gives us a hyphen instead of a div error. But if you put a number like 3, then you press enter, the error disappears. But when we divide by 0, we get the hyphen. Okay. So in the next tab, we are going to use the num. Okay. And the num error is when a number is divided by to the power of, you are dividing something to the power of, you are dividing 0 to the power of anything. Let's say, for example, in this formula is B1 is to the power of 16, which gives us 65,536. But if we put the value 0 here, it's going to give us a num error. Sorry, Control Z. If let's say we want to power the value 2 to the power of 0, then you press enter. Let's remove that one. So let's say, for example, if we power 0, let me just go back for you to explain a little bit better. Control Z. So in this worksheet, it clearly states that 2 is to the power of 16. Okay. But if we remove the value of B and you remove the value of C, we get an error. Okay. But if Control Z, so if you want for us to avoid this error to be shown again, what you can simply do is double click on the formula again and use the if function. You can state that if, open brackets, if B1 is greater than 0, comma, give us the result. But if b1 is less than 0, give us a hyphen. Close the statement, then close the bracket. So if you say b is less than 0, instead of getting a num error, we're going to get a hyphen. And that is how you use the if function to hide error messages from the Devo and the num errors in Microsoft Excel. I'll see you in the next lesson, but if you haven't understood what I've done, watch the video again and it will be clearly explained to you.